what leadership qualities do you, Jennifer, think that are needed to help companies navigate through this crisis?
Well, I appreciate the opportunity for the question. I believe you really get to see good leaders in action as COVID hit. Those with agility and energy, those who, as Erika mentioned, put their employees first. They stepped in with ways of engaging team via video conferencing and making sure that everyone felt connected. Those who clearly revisited and articulated their vision, and who made sure that to the best of their ability, each person on their team had as safe an environment as they could create. That last part is a big deal and unique to this particular crisis. Now, I'm sure that there are others who might say this, but to me, during normal quiet times, there's really not as much management needed, right? We all know our lanes. Our managers can spend a lot of time on doing projects that help move the team forward, but aren't necessarily managing the team as closely every day of every minute of every hour. But during times of change, this is a must, and you really see who steps up. And I'm guessing your minds are, as you're thinking about that, are now thinking about the CEO and exec teams right now. And it's true. And I know for us personally, we meet daily with required cameras and updates to make sure that we're not just aligned, but that we can make those really quick decisions that are much needed throughout the organization so that there's a definitive continued forward movement. And then there's the technology piece, like we've experienced this morning. Everyone connected at home okay, up and running. Thankfully for P&T, much better for us because we had done we had invested substantially in IT upgrades last year, but it's still new, working from home. I loved hearing your dog, Maggie. I think it's awesome. You get to hear a little bit about you and that you've got a dog, and how cool is that? Hopefully you'll give him or her a pet at the end, but it's all still new. And some of us have always said that some of the business leaders have now said many people more will work from home. That means where we congregate may no longer be in the same place. Now, wireless and mobile enable that, and that's where Amino and P&T jump in. But there's also the disruption of having to build new places and abandon or repurpose things that were once ideal. You still have to have a new agreement on temporary work from home rules of engagement, right? Just sending somebody home and saying go doesn't make sure that they're connected, that their work environment is good, that they feel a sense of connection, that they're leading that sense of connection and not just being reactive in it. And so at this point, we should consider every manager, not just the C-suite, because many of them have had to pivot from in-person management to remote. And I can say firsthand and through our managers, that is a whole different experience. So our managers, at least at P&T, are having to talk daily with each of their team members. This increases their workload on just that one aspect alone is impressive, considering that they're managing their own workload as well. So they're shifting from independent contributions plus management to now 100% management collaboration and ensuring those close collaboration, clear, honest, and even more compassionate communication, because we don't know about each other's home life well enough to interact and make sure that we're connected 100%. So I hope that as we transition to a new normal, we can sustain the levels of engagement across each one of our companies and look for ways to keep it up. Now, I've shared some about our thoughts. So Erika, what are your thoughts on leadership qualities to help companies navigate through crisis?
Well, Jennifer, I certainly appreciate hearing more about what you and your company is doing. And in the way we're doing a lot of similar things. And I think that because both our companies are financially stable, I think we can do a lot more. And we have that ability to kind of breathe from that perspective. But let me maybe start with answering kind of the basic question of leadership and what is a great leader. So from my perspective, a great leader, they set the vision that people can believe in, they can follow, they set the strategy, and then they are super focused on execution. But great leader during the time of crisis, they have three things that I think are super important. They have empathy, they are brutally honest, and they create credible hope And I think the last one here is the most important. So what we did at Amino, when we saw the crisis, and I think we saw it a bit earlier than many other Western companies, because we have a large team in Hong Kong. At the board level, we switched our conversation, and it was very much about the well-being of our employees and business continuity. And Donald McGrath, our CEO, was very, very clear. It goes back to having a mission. It was very clear that the business needed to take care of the Amino people. And he not only said it, he put this into place and went into action. And whether it was calls with employees or video calls with employees, and there was also a lot of other things that we did music videos just for fun to engage employees very differently. Fruits baskets were sent to people's home, so while we were financially stable and it created stability, what Donald did, what his leadership did, is really to take the people along and allow them to have less anxiety and to continue to focus on the business during the crisis. And what the Amino people did in turn is that they really continued to help the business to operate as close as possible to normal.